Welcome to the GameChanger 00100 show. I am your host, GameChanger. All right. It wasn't my intention to do like an impromptu video like this, but something happened and here I am live. So I was watching Shay Sade and she brought up an old video about Rebecca Lynn Pope. And apparently, Rebecca Lynn Pope is talking crap about black men. And basically, what she's doing is she's feeding into the existing stereotype that is created by other black women. Y'all heard it like, oh, black men are in jail or they were white women or they are rainbow or something like that. And that's just something that they say to confuse the populace as to why they're single. The true reason that they're single is because they are waiting for a better offer. And many of them wait too long. They're holding out for a better offer. So that is the truth of it. And they're also leveraging for a better offer. They figure that, they're going to wait and see who blinks first. If the man blinks first, then, he finds himself with a woman who is very underqualified. And this woman will find herself with a man who is overqualified. And of course, if the men blink first, or excuse me, if the women blink first, then, she'll wind up on a street corner selling herself for his financial gain. So that's what's really going on in the black community. But she wants to hide that fact. She wants to hide that manipulation amongst black women with more manipulation. Now, she's aware of these lies. A couple of years ago, she did a video about, how she's given up on black women, how their standards are too high, how it's ridiculous, and how there are plenty of good black men out there, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But she's completely changed her tune. Now, typically, changes like this comes when the woman is just tired of the marketplace. She's aged out of the marketplace. She realized that she has reached the best offer for a mate that she's ever going to reach when she was around 29 years old. And she turned down that offer, hoping for something better that she now realizes will never come. That's when the frustration kicks in. That's when they go into Cynthia G mode. And they continue in that mode until the offer comes, the greater offer than the one they received at their, physical peak comes, and it never does. So they just maintain in a perpetual state of hate. However, she did get the man that she wanted. And she hasn't been on the mating market when she changed her tune. So we have to ask ourselves, why the sudden change? With the like button. Why the sudden change? Why is she now singing a different church tune? Why is she hemming a new hymn? Why is she banging a new tambourine? Why is she, fanning herself with a new wooden fan or whatever they do in church nowadays? Why has this changed? And the reason is I was going to save this for the middle or, whatever, but no, I'm going to do this now. The reason that it's changed is because being a pikmi is a lonely, lonely path. And once that loneliness kicks in, just like what they're trying to do with the men, they wait for the loneliness to kick in and then they offer you a crappy deal. Rebecca Lynn Pope found herself absent black female friends for a significant amount of time. Once the loneliness kicked in, they allowed her in the circle under certain conditions. And those conditions are a complete flip-flop of her original message. And as she continues to spread the gospel, which is the sisterhood, hit that like button. Going to get into some true knowledge here. All right. So without further ado, let's just get into it. All right. Oh, no, that's mine. All right. So she did a video entitled Auntie's Advice, Black Women Who Want to Be Married. Actually, I shouldn't have titled my video the exact same thing. I meant to say GC responds to that. So Zone, if you're there, if you could take care of that for me, I greatly appreciate it. So I'm going to be responding to what she said about that. First, let me go to history. And shout out to Shay Sade. She brought it up, and I was watching the video. I said, okay, I have to respond to this. Now her video is 2 hours long, so I'm gonna just respond to the original. But Shay Sade. All right. Let me share my screen. All right. Black men. As sad and unfortunate as it sounds, this is as attractive as a Black church woman can possibly get. I'm going to repeat this because this is such a harsh reality. This is as attractive as a Black church woman could possibly get. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking that, I've been to church and I've seen hotter. I've seen some 20 somethings and, they were blah, 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 blah. Yeah, that's because they haven't reached this stage yet. You see, Black women don't look to settle down in their prime. Therefore, they're only available when they look like this. Sad but true. Shout out to Sweet Melody Media. But let's get started because it's 25 minutes and I got a movie night after this. All right.
Hello, beautiful people.
They're not beautiful people. Your audience isn't comprised of attractive women.
I took yesterday off since it was the end of my 30-day live challenge. And now I'm back today with another video. And this video is for my Black lovely ladies who want to get married.
Church lipstick. Church lipstick.
I've been having these conversations lately. And I also taught in Divine Dating Workshop with Bliss last week. We did a 3-hour Q&A in the Divine Dating Workshop. And I'm going to take my time with this video today. I'm not going to rush because there are some very key points that I need to make.
Okay.
I said some things inside of the Divine Dating Workshop as women were asking me questions that I realized there were some main key points that I have not probably said publicly, but I was saying them inside of class. And I could tell some of them were really shocked by some of the things that I had to say. One of those things being, and now this video is going to need to come with a couple of warning labels because I'm sure it's going to trigger some of you. Some of you are not going to want to hear what I have.
Okay. Whenever somebody says stuff like this, they are deliberately trying to be triggering. Now, what she's about to say isn't something that Black women haven't been saying for at least the last 20 years. They have actually been saying it for over 40 years. But I'm just going to give the benefit of the doubt and say at least 20 years. And if you don't believe me, let me show you. Let me show you. Hit the like button. All right. Hold on. Here, let me look this up. Actually, I'm going to let her say it, and then I will respond. So, yeah.
I have to say, but let's just remember, I'm married, okay? Been married a couple times, okay? I know what it is to get married, attract a husband, date someone, convert, court, get engaged, be married, right? So I'm going to take my time. 1, I have gotten in trouble before for saying Black women who want to exclusively marry Black men. We are in the middle of a crisis. Black men are in crisis. And anybody who denies that Black men are in crisis is ignoring the data, the science, the research, the statistics. It is not.
Black men are in crisis. And that crisis is Black women. There isn't, racism is a nuisance, but it's not a crisis. If you take the life of a Black man who's not like blind or deaf or anything like that, or maimed, or he's a quadriplegic, or he has mental deficiencies, and you ask him, what has been the biggest problem you have ever had in your life? It will somehow, some way be a Black woman. If Tupac was alive, you can ask him that. Like, what has been the biggest problem, the biggest hindrance in your life ever?
A figment of your imagination that there are not enough eligible Black men to marry. You are not imagining that. It is real.
Okay, so she made a statement, and let's see if their behavior matches what she described. She just said that there are not enough eligible single Black men to every Black woman, which means that if you go by the principle of scarcity equals value, the few eligible Black men should have the run of the mill, right? I mean, like, if you have the last gallon of gasoline on earth, that should sell for billions of dollars because it's the last one. It's scarce. So if you are an eligible Black man, and many of you are eligible Black men in the chat room, then y'all should have y'all pick, right? Well, let's just check online to see if that's the case. Hold on. Hold on one moment. Hit the like button. And by the way, I'm just Googling this for the first time. I'm not like, you don't have to actually do anything special in order to see this. Actually, you know something? Oh, I can't because she flagged MTR. What I'm going to do is, while I play some more Rebecca Lynn Pope, is I'm going to find a pop the balloon clip where they just instantly pop the balloon for frivolous reasons, and see if there's actually a shortage of eligible men.
By the time, and like I said, I'm going to take my time with this. By the time you take that Black people are only 11% of the population, Black men being half of that 11%, by the time you remove the gay men, by the time you remove the mass.
Ever notice how they never remove gay women? Ever notice that? Ever notice that they never remove gay women? Like, women are 100% straight and men seem to be 90% gay. And I can't stand listening to idiots talk numbers. I really can't. You can barely count collection plate change. You're a moron. So let's keep it a buck. A buck is 100 pennies, 4 quarters, 20 nickels, and 10 dimes. Gotta speak to idiots. Anyway, let's just keep it a buck. You don't know what you're talking about. Like, if the population is relative, it really don't matter what percent of the overall population it is. That doesn't reduce the choices, considering that it's a balance, according to what you just said, between the men and women, 50-50. But let's watch you try to skew the stats for other idiots. All right.
Incarceration, that when you see the populations of these prisons,
Mm-hmm.
and it is predominantly Black men that are, these prisons are.
That's the ratio of prisoners. That's not the ratio of Black men who are in prison. So, once again, say you have a population of 1 million people. And say you have a prison population that represents 90% of that million people. Or you have an ethnic group that's 1 million people strong. And you have a prison system that has a higher concentration of this particular ethnicity in that prison population. That doesn't mean that. So say that prison population is 10 people. Then that really means that out of the 1 million people, 9 people are in prison. See, what you have to actually do is find the number of people that are in prison divided by the overall Black population. Now, we're not even going to, talk about the fact that some women find prison men eligible because prison men have wives and girlfriends. We're not even going to touch on that. We're not. So they're not completely off the market. In fact, they are taking women off the market. We're not going to touch on that. What we are going to do is saying that your math is off. You take the total number of people in prison divided by the total population of would-be eligible men, prison or otherwise, and then you multiply that number by 100 to get the percentage of men who are not available because they are in prison. You're not going to do that because you're not too bright. Hit the like button. God didn't bless you with brightness. I'm really starting to question what did he bless you with, but we're not going to go there because, God loves all of his children equally. All right. So let me just pause for a second and let's see, or actually I'm gonna let her finish and then we'll go back to that.
Full of Black men, full at an exponential rate compared to our percentage of society. We're only
She has no idea what exponential means. First of all, exponential rarely applies to rate. Let's be clear on that. Holy crap. I'm going to continue.
11% of the population, but the prisons are full of Black men. You take out the men who are already married. You take out the men who are on the down low, gay, pretending to be straight, but ain't never going to marry a woman. Or if they do, they're bearding, faking, fronting, whatever. Inside of the still group of eligible Black men in the dating pool, you still now, under heterosexual Black men who are not married and who are not gay and who are not in prison, are still going to be your gold-toothed, pants-sagging dudes who have 0 sense. That's still inside of that number. Black men have come at me when I say there's not enough eligible men, and they push back at me. But one of the things I've realized about good Black men is that you don't realize that, first of all, there's not a gazillion more like you. I've noticed this even with my husband. There's a lot.
Why in the hell do you need a gazillion of them? So, and I hate dipshits that do stuff like this. Hit the like button. I hate dipshits that do stuff like this. There are no good black men, and then a good black man raises his hand. It's like, I'm right here. It's like, yeah, but it's not a gazillion of you. Why don't you find me a good black woman? Because it's so many good black women out there that's just earning and yearning and looking for a good black man. Why don't you hook me up with one of those and then start talking crap? Now, she's not going to do that, but let's see what happens when a good black man, and I haven't seen this, so I'm just going to assume that he's good because most black men are not what she describes. So let's just see what happens when they try. When a decent black man, one of these unicorns that they talk about that they are looking for so fiercely, let's see what happens when he shoots his shot. Hit the like button, please. Hit that like button, please. Hit that like button, please. All right. So let's see. Female Media said, didn't she used to be on black men's side? Yeah, exactly. But as you know, the life of a pikmi is a lonely one. It leaves you with no female friends. Few or little female friends. And in order to make friends, she has to become a complete and total hypocrite. All right. Get it, got it, good. Let's see.
This guy was looking for a smart woman, so he decided to ask one simple question, but it wouldn't go as planned.
What's 9 plus 9 times 9?
Oh, no!
Damn, you ain't even try?
For those of you who don't know, the answer to that question is, wait, is it 98? I have to stop and think. Yeah, 89 plus 9 is 98. Yeah. Wait, something seems wrong about that. 81 plus 9, my mistake, is 90. Okay, I knew I was doing something wrong. Okay. So the answer to that question is 90. Let's see.
Didn't even really hear what you said.
Cap.
It was 9 plus 9 times 9.
I mean, like,
I get it. It's all good.
Okay,
81
but if
plus
you end up popping,
I don't know why I popped.
What?
there was a math problem.
Yes.
But you could have gave it a try.
No, I did in my mind. Oh my God, I look like an idiot. You said 9 times 9? It's
No.
81.
9 plus 9 times 9.
Oh my Lord.
All right, 9 plus 9 times 9.
I think the answer is 162. I don't know if that's right.
It ain't right, but she tried.
Okay.
This guy was looking for a smart woman, so he decided to ask one simple question.
Okay, she got the 162 because she added the 9 and 9 before she multiplied. So she added the 9 and 9 and got 18 and then multiplied that by 9. That's still decent that she did that. That was just stupid. I wish I hadn't used that as an example because who in the hell gives math equations to, like, does it really matter? Does it really matter? Nelly said you're smart. Well, I got it wrong initially, but thank you anyway. Let me see if I can find the actual pop balloon where well, we've all seen it. There's really no need to do that. We've all seen how dudes get instantly popped because he's too short or because his shoes. Hold on. So there's really no need to do that. So that negates the whole theory that women are out here yearning for good men, but they'll pop the balloon over frivolous things. All right, let me go back to the show. Actually, let me read these super chats. It says, I just started watching. I don't know what Auntie is talking about, but since she's a black woman and talking about dating and mating, I'm 98% sure she's full of shit with a 2% margin of error. Actually, you would be like 102%. It's 102% chance that she's full of shit with a 2% margin of error. Absolutely. All right, I appreciate that. Let's go to the next one. KMS again, he says, to answer the question, Auntie is a coward to ask anything valuable, i.e. good black men will be in scarcity, but factor demand. Truth, black women don't compete. No, they don't compete. They manipulate. They manipulate the market is what they're doing. Ever since they started working, they've always been working, but ever since they decided to push the narrative that um, we don't need a man, it gave them more time. They didn't have a sense of urgencies. And they used that to over leverage the market. They're like, okay, we're going to wait for a better offer. And they just waited until they're her age and then started complaining that things didn't go as planned. Well, it's the best laid plans of mice and idiots. That's why things did not happen the way you wanted it to happen. Hit the like button. All right. Lastly, one more question. What black men are impregnating all these black women? Wouldn't one figure they'd only give the gift of progeny to good black men? That is true. It appears that good black men aren't rewarded. They are stupid, lazy, both. Well, what they're doing is they are trying to invoke humility and a sense of humility and scarcity amongst good black men. They want the good black men to feel like, a decent black woman is available, but you're not getting one because you are a flawed human being. Therefore, you need to require less of them. That's all it is dick at a discount. That's all these broads want is dick at a discount. That's what rebeccalynnpope has. Once again, because she's as attractive as a black church woman can possibly get, which is not a compliment, as many would think. You see, black women, particularly of the church variety, they all wear the same hair, they all wear the same wig, they all wear the same makeup, and they all wear, they all wear the same lashes and stuff like that. They pretty much look the same. The only thing that differs is their body type and their complexion. In church, that's the only way that you can tell them apart is size and color. And her size just so happens to be more pleasing than the other chillin' eating broads. Hit the like button. All right, so back to the topic at hand.
Of awareness around what is eligible and the availability of black men. My husband thinks so many men are just like him, that there's just really a bunch of Carrie Popes running around that are solid, hardworking, intelligent, marriage material, mature, grown men who want to be responsible and want to build a family.
Pastors are not hardworking. Let me stop it right there and say pastors, particularly Baptist pastors, are not hardworking. I'm going to say this one more time. Baptist pastors are not hardworking. Now, if you have a separate occupation and you're a pastor, then that individual is hardworking, but that work is due to his second occupation, not the pastorhood itself. Hell, I mean, they're doing the exact same thing I'm doing now. They're just doing it in front of a pulpit with a robe on. That's not hard work. Catholic priests work hard. They actually have schools and hospitals and stuff like that they have to work for. They're part of a much larger and disciplined order, an older order. And they many have taken a vow of poverty. They're not mobbing around in Cadillacs like that either. So yeah, let's stop right there. What his gift is the same as yours, and that is the ability to manipulate the masses.
And I'm like, Carrie Pope, no. So ladies, by the time you take out the rappers, the gold teeth, the sagging pants, the young ones who just ain't even ready for marriage, now you got a whole other demographic of black men who have sworn off black women, whole movements created.
It is really the red pill space. Hit the like button. The black red pill space has really gotten in black women's crotches. It has really, because 20 years ago, before the Black Manosphere, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, you didn't hear them complain about it. Now you have all these guys who have sworn off black women. Listen, men do not swear off. Okay. Let's start here. If these black men didn't exist, then how or why do they exist to swear off black women? First of all, take a black man, right? Why would he swear off black women if the odds are so much in his favor? I mean, because there's all these good black women around and there's so few good black men. It seems like every time like he goes to, I don't know, a nightclub or something, he'll just be swarmed with beautiful black women. That's the picture that you're painting. So why, if that's the case, he's going to other places that are full of black women where he's actually swarmed? You're not going to ask that question. You're not going to ask that question. And your hat looks like you got it the day after slavery. And you're not going to ask that question.
To completely giving up on black women. Completely. That black women are not marriage material and that black women are not wife material.
Those are your words. You're the one who said that they're not marriage material and they're not wife material. It was you. You're the one that said that they're not marriage material and wife material. And that you will no longer be a dating coach for them. That was you. But when the night falls, the loneliness calls. You got lonely because you had no female friends. And of course, you didn't have many male friends because you're a married woman. So because you wanted female friends, congregation, followers, whatever you want to call it, you flip-flopped. But you know the truth. You know the truth. You know the fact of the matter is most are not marriage material. Men don't run from a group of marriage material women to another group of marriage material women. They just don't do that. It doesn't make sense. If I go into a market and I find that a gallon of milk is $3, I don't say, you know something? I'm going to go to another market where the gallon of milk is $3. And that other market just so happens to be 300 miles away. They don't do that. Now, according to you, these good men didn't even exist to leave the black community.
So not all of black men, but there's a percentage of black men who feel that way. And all these daggone gender wars on social media and all the men who are beefing in, they've been hurt by 2 black women in their life, and now they're writing off all black women.
How many black men have you been hurt by? You haven't even been hurt by 2 because you married one. How many good black men have you, or how many black men have you been hurt by? How many black men have your congregation have been hurt by? They only been hurt by two. First of all, you have to be an ignorant, obnoxious bitch. Oh, now I got to say it like short. Bitch! You have to be an ignorant, obnoxious bitch in order to count how many people hurt you. I'm going to do the same thing just to give y'all an idea, just to give the women out there who are sisterhood and just so happen to be listening, and y'all can only feel things as it comes from your point of view, you know, or as it happens to you, how ignorant this sounds. I want you to imagine a woman who says that she's been raped by two white guys. And then I want you to imagine a white guy coming along and say, you've only been hurt by two white guys. You see how stupid you sound now? It's only been two. You see how stupid you sound now? Especially since that two is based on your own estimation. Jesus. Oh, and by the way, it's never two. Shout out to DMX. It was Brenda and Keisha, Inez and Delisha. About three Kims, Latoya, Melisha. Like they just go, you could just go on and on. It's just like a list. It's only two. You should let more black women screw you over.
As in black.
And another thing, if black women are so sugar and spice and everything nice, and black men don't exist, then there shouldn't be any instances of this. Because you know, where would these two bitches come from? And where would the men that they screw over come from? Hit the like button.
Women don't do that.
As old as you are, you're drinking a big gulp. You are drinking a quarter of a gallon cup of corn syrup.
Black women been dogged by black men, drugged by black men, completely ran over and heartbroken by black men, but still don't give up on black men. Black men, on the other hand, whole demographic of black men just giving up on black women. There are faith.
Okay. And now is the time for that clip I'm gonna save. Or is it? Did I click away from it? Oh crap. Hold on. This chick. By the way, somebody in the chat room asked who still listens to her. Shay Sade does. This is a year old. Shay Sade still listened to it, and she found this gem and jewel. I was not listening to this and found anything like this. This is all her. This is all her. This is all her. But shout out to Shay Sade because I'm glad that because you know now she exposed something. You know, this is a good find because it's a continuation of a lie that they've always been telling. All right, hold on. Let me see this particular Pop the Balloon clip before we continue some more. Don't flag my channel. Somebody says she's pretending that she's never heard of divestors. Yeah, I mean, I don't even count divestors because they're not divesting. I'm going to tell y'all what they're doing, but it's not divesting. It's market manipulation. That's all these bras know how to do.
This is nice. This is going to get so big. basically, I don't like someone who's based on like image. Like he said, the wig thing, a tight shirt and tight pants. So it's like, if you're going to talk about someone else's image, you should look at your own image.
I looked at my image 10 times in the back.
This nigga's old.
Okay. I thought that there was an absence of good black men. You know, I mean, there's no gold teeth, there's no sagging pants, but they all popped a balloon. Look, it's a row of black women with pop balloons. It's a row of black women with pop balloons laughing at a man's shoes. I thought that it was just so scarce that if they ever found one, they'll put a decent pair of shoes on him. All right. Somebody says she's red flagging everybody. All right. I'll just leave it alone. All right. Someone said, so I've never seen this video. No, I haven't. I haven't seen this video until Shay Sade, and I seen bits and pieces of it because she was going in and out of commentary and I was doing stuff. So no, I haven't. But I tell you what video I have seen, just to let y'all know that this isn't new talk. Hold on. This was an ABC special from a long time ago, but I'm going to show it. All right. Let's see. All right, hit the like button. Now, this is a repost, and it says that this was 14 years ago, but actually, I think the original was, or the earliest version of this I seen was in 2006, which means that it's only been 10 years, or excuse me, it's been at least 19 years ago. Yeah, so y'all have seen this before. Let's watch a bit of it again.
To paraphrase those famous lyrics, but from millions of black women, many inclusive. But why? Are their standards too high, or are the pickings too 30?
She hasn't accomplished a lot. First of all, if you work for the courts and you're a lawyer, it means that you are not lead attorney. You are not Dennis Sperling. That's the kind of work that you get when no law firm will hire you because you graduated at the bottom of your damn class. What it essentially is it's freelance. And you're not really doing anything. Anybody who's ever been to court like that, and you get one of those court-appointed, attorneys, or the prosecutors, they're saying stuff, and they're saying stuff like this.
She's a prosecuting attorney.
That's her job. It'd be a $500 fine. I know it's a $500 fine. It was on the fine when they fined me it. I know that it was a $500 fine, you stupid bitch. That is her job. And she do not get paid much to do it. Enforcing court fines, that the police give, so basically you park in the handicap zone. Somebody gives you a $500 fine, and then you fight that $500 fine, hoping that the police officer don't show. But she shows, and that's her job. And it's supposed to have so much prestige because actual lawyers doing actual work get paid a lot. Like those corporate attorneys that say, hey, wait a minute, you have to recall this automobile because, it'll explode. Like those lawyers that actually do stuff like that and get paid millions and millions to do it, she's not that.
Nicole isn't the kind of woman you'd find standing by on the sidelines of life. But you would find.
Let's continue. Actually, hold on. Let's
And yet,
them have turned down guys. Somebody says it's buffering. Hey, life is a buffer.
double the number of never married white women.
I look forward to the day. I look forward to being married.
It's just not that.
By the way, they did a follow-up. That day never came. She's at least 20 years older, and that day has never came.
That easy. For starters, there are more black women than black men.
There's more every woman than every man. Women live longer than men.
1.8 million more. So even if every black man in America married a black woman today,
now it's funny because they put stuff like that out there, which really would mean that only the bottom 1/12 would be affected, right? I mean, only the bottom 1/12 should be affected. If a company was hiring and they have 11 people, or excuse me, they have 12 people interviewing, but they only have 11 positions, and somebody says, you know, hey, we're only going to hire 11 of you guys, one of you guys won't get hired, then it would be a bad thing for the 11th person, the least qualified out of 12 people. But that's not what you are displaying here. You're displaying the lawyer cheerleaders that aren't fat. That's what you're displaying. You're displaying the least likely to be in the bottom 1/12 of people. I'm going to bring this home for y'all. Let's just say you have a Harvard graduate, right? And he was applying for a job. And then they say only 11 out of 12 of these guys will get hired. Look at this Harvard graduate. Listen, if he don't get the job, it's because he turned down the job. It's because 1 in 12 is not 42%. So you have to ask yourself, what's with the other number of women? I don't know what percent 1 in 12 is off the top of my head. I know it's less than 10. So yeah, what's with the rest of the bitches?
Let's take 100 black men, those with.
This is bad math, and that's because they're trying to be deliberately deceitful. I'm going to explain to you all how bad math works. The numbers itself is bad, but I'm going to explain to you how bad math works.
Between the ages of 25 and 34 who are incarcerated, that leaves only about half of black men eligible to.
Okay, right off the bat, you have the 21 who are who don't have a high school diploma, and then for whatever reason, you have an additional percentage
those without a job, and the number of black men between the ages of 25 and 34 who are incarcerated.
Okay, so 21% without a high school diploma. Many of those are those 17% that don't have jobs. Let's be clear on that. In fact, I would venture to say maybe 16% are like 16 of the 17%. Because if you don't have a high school diploma, you're less likely to have a job. And keep in mind, these are probably very young men. So anyway, so you have those numbers overlap, but she added them as if, you know, all of the 21% who don't have high school diplomas have jobs. And then you have a separate 17% that has high school diplomas but no job. And then you have you have 8% who has a job, and then they have a high school diploma, but they're in jail. Because most people in jail has jobs, which I don't even think that's possible, in the sense of how they measure jobs. You know, we're not talking about 25-cent license plate people. You know, they both have jobs and diploma, because most people in jail have diplomas. Y'all see the foolishness? Now, let's just take this for face value, because these numbers are skewed tremendously, right? In fact, let me look it up right now. Percent of Black men in jail. Okay, well, only making up. It doesn't give the numbers. It says, okay, once he, okay. This even the AIs is doing it. Black men are disproportionately incarcerated in the U.S. with a significantly higher percentage. We're not asking for a percentage of the jail population that are Black. We're not asking for the percentage of the jail population that are Black. We're asking the percentage of Black men that are in jail. Black men constitute 33% of all prisoners in the U.S. while only making up 12% of the population. Okay, what number is that? What's the total number of prisoners in jail? Okay, so let's see. Percent of Black men in jail. Let's see if I reword this differently. Okay. What percent of Black men are in jail? Let's see. Approximately 15% of the U.S. adult Black male population has been to prison at some point in their lives. That is not the question. That is not the question. What percent of Black men are in jail? I put it plainly. Let me put the word are currently in jail. They're like, oh, you know, these are the ones that's ever been there. Okay, that's not the question. See. While the precise single percentage of Black men currently incarcerated is difficult to pinpoint, no, it's not. No, it's not. They don't want to say, because when they put the, if 15% has ever been, if 15% has ever been in jail, then it has to be less than 15% that is currently in it. And we're talking about people who's, you know, been there for a weekend. They don't want to say because it's such a minuscule amount. So here's what I'm going to do. The number of Black men currently in jail. It's difficult to provide an exact number. I'm not asking for an exact number, bitch. I am not asking for an exact number. But you know if it's 10,000 or 10 million. Okay. It's difficult to provide an exact number of Black men currently in jail as jail population fluctuates daily. I know. Holy crap. You can't give an estimate. However, the Sentencing Project reports that in 2021, the imprisonment rate for Black men was 1,000. Oh, here we go. Here's a number. Here we go. 1,807 per 100,000. What does that mean? What does that mean? I'm going to break it down so even rebeccalynnpope can understand it. It means that 1.8% of Black men are in prison, and many of those have girlfriends and wives. 1.8, 1.8, 1.8, 1.8. Are you fucking kidding me? You see and you see how hard it was for me to find that too? Because they hide stuff like that. So these black women could get on and fake cry talking about all of our men are in jail. We're stuck with having to deal with 98.2% of the male population that is free. What am I going to do? 1.8% of them are locked up. You mean I have to choose between 98.2% of black men? You stupid, stuck-up, ugly, fat bitch. I cannot stand these lies. Let's continue. All right, so we got to the stats. Now let's just see this bitch here.
BGs, you know, just, and it's a black girl.
Jaqueen Ashford is a chemist for a pharmaceutical company. Now he's 30. She's on requirements.
I don't have a certain criteria, like if you're not 6'5", and I used to, but then as I got.
Gee, you think that might have been the reason? Okay, Google is my friend. What percent of the male population is 6'5" or above? Do. All right, it says 1 in 128,000 are 6'10" and above. They never give me what I want. Let's see. So 3.9% is 6'2" and above. A reasonable estimate for men 6'5" or taller would be significantly less than 3.9. Let's assume around 1%. Okay. So this bitch was asking for 1% of the population, complaining that it's not enough men.
Got older, I said, okay, maybe if you're 6'3", 6'2", 6'1", okay, maybe we could see eye to eye.
Notice I stopped at 6'1".
I kind of have certain standards that I hold myself to, and I don't feel like I should have to.
She never married either. 20 years later, she never married. And she's just gotten fatter and, less hair underneath her wig since then.
Along those, for the sake of having somebody, I'm willing to wait.
Like many black men, she's also open to dating outside her race. In fact, in the past decade, the number of black women entering interracial marriage has more than doubled.
In fact, last night, was at a restaurant, had a great conversation with this Caucasian gentleman.
Was he 6'5"? Because there's a 1% chance, or there's a 99% chance that he wasn't, but it doesn't count when it's them. So RebeccaLynnPope is going to suggest that black women start doing what they have already been doing. They have already been.
I mean, we were vibing, we were clicking. I'm thinking, he's going to ask for my number.
And there she said it. White men never ask for my number. Now notice, they're trying to make the point that good black men don't exist. But she never said black men never asked for her number, did she? She never said that. When black men ask for her number, she pulls out a measuring stick and using on his dick and his height. But when white guys never ask for her number. So let's be clear. This thing that RebeccaLynnPope is suggesting don't work for the following reasons. Keep in mind, she never married. If she's 34 now, she's in this video, she's 54 now, 53, 54. Still has not married. And being willing to date white guys did not help with her plight.
And he was like, all right, well, great conversation. You know, maybe I'll see you around. And I was thinking, what happened?
That they talk about hasn't been there for a while, and this is evidence of that. It's not like these women are saying, oh no, you need to stick with the brothers. You need to stick with the brothers. No, they encouraged her. Like, yeah, you should ask for his number. All right. So another lie exposed. The loyalty myth, the incarceration rate, all of this is lies, full of lies. 1.8%. Only 1 in the 4 got married, and she was the one with the shortest hair. And that's because longer wigs make them conceited. The longer the wig, the more conceited they get, because I don't know why. That's why rebeccalynnpope has a long wig.
Facebook groups of Black men who are dedicated to.
Actually, I do know why the longer the wig, the more conceited they are. You see, Black women behave like the Continental Congress. Now, if y'all don't know what the Continental Congress looked like, you need only look at your quarter or your nickel. A dollar bill, maybe. Yeah. You need only look at this currency to understand what they look like. And you will see men, grown adult white men, with wigs on, with white powdered wigs. They even had a party called the Wig Party. Terms like big wig came out of this particular era and time. The bigger the wig, the more important you were. That's how they operate. They walk around with Continental Congress wigs on, thinking that they're better than shorter hair natural women. By the way, the quarter and the nickel guy, slave owners. These Black women, they want to enslave you. Just saying.
But hurt.
Somebody said never married, never get married. Listen, if you don't get married as a early 30s cheerleading lawyer, then you're not going to get married as a 50-plus-year-old eggless woman. That's just not going to happen. Whatever curse of a personality you had in your 30s, it's gotten worse since then. And now you turned into rebeccalynnpope.
Hurting Black men who want to blame Black women for all their problems, as if a white woman or a Latino woman, somebody who don't want you, by the way, are going to deal with your shenanigans and crap.
Okay. Somebody who don't want you, by the way. Now, it's funny that she says that, because I'm pretty sure white guys want them. Even though we just heard the woman, say white guys never ask for my number. But, okay. White men want Black women, but white women don't want Black men. Okay, let's go with that. Then you should have no problems. You shouldn't be worried about, passport bros and people like that, because these women don't want you. I mean, they wanted me, but I'm GameChanger. I'm not talking about just in my international travels. I'm talking about locally. I mean, what the fuck? I don't know what to say to that. Well, okay, I will say this. What evidence do you have that they don't? let's start there. What evidence do you have that they don't? Because you complain about interracial dating and marriage, but according to you, we're not even able to do that because they don't want us. So explain yourself.
Craziness, because they got even higher standards. Because their culture raises them to have higher standards than Black women.
Okay. Black women, I'm not going to say that they have higher standards. Black women wait longer. And because of the stupidity involved in double X chromosomes, their standards go up as they age, meaning that their standards gets higher as their age get lower. Meaning that when you were 18 and she's 18, she has no problem going to Applebee's. In fact, she's happy to do so. However, when she's 38 years old, she's all of a sudden too good for Applebee's, even though she's less appealing than she was at 18. And that's because their standards is not based on their actual worth. It's based on the number of guys that has asked for their number in their lifetime. So if a woman is 18 and somebody asks for her number, let's just say 5 guys hit on her, her standards is, the best of those 5 guys. However, by the time that she's 30 and that 5 turns into 50,000, because of the internet, her standards is now at a retarded level. Now, white women are the same in that regard, but white women marry sooner. So they don't have these eggless marriages like she has with her husband.
Gotta step up in order to even date a white or other woman.
Okay. I have no problem with that. I mean, according to you, we don't exist to step up. According to you, we don't exist to step up. There are plenty of men who stepped up and was told by that stupid bitch in the last video that they weren't 6'5". But we're not going to go there. Hit the like button.
Because their culture teaches them to marry into financial security for a man to be a provider and protector. It's in their culture.
And your culture teaches you not to marry at all. Because you come from a culture of dumbass bitches. And their culture also teaches them to marry young. Yours don't, because again, you come from a culture of dumbass bitches.
So I'm in the gym the other morning.
Holy crap.
I'm on the treadmill.
You're not on a treadmill. Your figure, which is good for your age, is due to a genetic anomaly. It's not due to diet or discipline. I just watched you slurp a big gulp. Anybody who goes on a treadmill, do not slurp big gulps. You want to know why? Because you don't want to, you know exactly how long it takes to work off that big gulp. How many miles it take. I'm going to calculate for you. All right. So number of calories in a big gulp. Okay, so she had a large, so 244 calories. All right, let's see. How many calories do you burn in a mile? Okay. Varies depending on several factors, including weight, pace. Okay, just give me an average. All right, so you burn about 100 to 130 pounds or calories. So really, you're going to run 2 miles just to burn off the big gulp that you just had? See the foolishness? She don't run nothing seriously. If she did, she wouldn't waste miles. She don't treadmill anything seriously, because once again, she wouldn't waste treadmill time on a big gulp.
Black men working out all around. I look, I'm paying attention.
It's funny. I can't get over how these men are not supposed to exist. I can't get over how these men don't exist, but she's seeing them in the gym. I just can't.
A good third to half the Black men I see in the gym are gay. Ladies, and that's not my imagination. Everywhere I look, it is gay Black men. It doesn't matter why. We can talk about why. You can go into all the whys, ladies. It doesn't matter.
Okay. Well, she says she's lying. I go to the gym too. I personally don't know if a man is gay or not. Let's start there. I don't know if a man is gay. If there's 30 guys at the gym, I wouldn't just look and say 10 of these guys are gay. Some people are flamboyantly obvious. And I know a guy at my gym that says like, oh, that nigga's gay, but he's not Black. So I don't really know where that's coming from, but what I'll do is I'll see what Google says. What percent of the male population is gay? 2 to 3%. Now, according to her, it's 10 times that amount. So now what she's doing is she's just fear mongering. I want to ask her, how many Black women were in the gym? What percent of that gym was Black women?
I'm on the phone with my therapist this week. I'm saying
therapists are paid friends. You see, though I don't really credit therapy as science, it's not science in my opinion and my definition of the word science. However, I do believe it can be helpful when done properly. I do believe if there's enough research and study on any subject, if properly administered, it can be done effectively. There's an additional caveat. The additional caveat is that most therapists are complete and total shit. And 90+% of Black female therapists are complete and total shit. They become therapists because, for one, that's what they see. It's kind of like a young Black kid that's constantly been arrested, wanting to become a police officer or correctional officer when he grows up. That's kind of like what you see. Most therapists are complete and total shit. And likely she has a Black female therapist who's more her friend than her therapist. And when it comes to Black women, they don't want to hear what they don't want to hear. So they'll just continue to go to a therapist that'll tell them what they want. And that is, they're fine and it's all Jermaine's fault. Hit the like button. And many Black women are going to therapy to say that they go into therapy because they know the world sees them as fucked in the head. So they want to say, to the world, yes, I'm working on it. I know I'm not crazy because, I'm working to become not crazy. No, you're just paying to kick it with an equally fucked up bitch for an hour. Hit the like button.
To her, I've never been more happy. I'm in such a great place.
Holy
so
crap. You call this happy?
And Carrie pays 95% of the bills. I've never been in a place where I did not have the financial pressure. I am provided for and taken care of. I still work, but I'm not under the pressure I was previously. And I said, Dr.
Okay. It's very weird that because your husband is paying the bills, everything is fine, but you are somehow crediting it to your therapist. Very weird.
Pam, that's my therapist. Dr. Pam,
of course.
Is this how white women feel? When a man is paying all the bills, I've never been here before. I'm just being honest with y'all. I've been 50-50. I've done my part. I've done more than my part. Y'all been in course with me. I've been honest. I've paid.
So she just proved what I said. And I know I interrupt a lot. I can't help it. But because this thing bad. She just proved what I said. Black women's standards increase as they get older, even though their value decreases. I've never been here before. So you're telling me that when you were younger, men got you at 50%. Now that you're older, they have to pay 95%. And if they don't pay that 95%, it's something wrong with Black men. That's what you're saying. All right, I'll Google that. Somebody said Google the number of white women who are stay-at-home wives. Let's see. Okay, in the U.S., around 24 to 25% of mothers are stay-at-home moms. Amongst SAHMS, about 49% are white. Okay, so I'm trying to think, what does that mean? Because it doesn't mean that 49% of white women who are married are housewives. It means it's actually worse than that, now that I'm thinking about it. So 24% of the whole female population, that includes unmarried white women, unmarried Black women, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a percentage of those women, of all adult women, who are married. And then there's a smaller percentage of those, which is 24 to 25, who are stay-at-home, which means that the percentage of married women who are stay-at-home is probably about 50% of that, most of whom are white, while 7% are Black. Yeah. Sounds about right. Sounds about right.
Paid 90% of the bills. I've been paying all the bills at times in different marriages. I've been in all the different situations. It's the first time in my life that a man.
Did this bitch say different marriages? Fellas, you gotta stop letting these bitches reinvent themselves. Nah, you gotta walk through the coals. Like, what in the hell? You can't just come to me with multiple marriages and say, yes, but I'm a good Christian woman now. You left multiple marriages, and you just glossed over. So think about what good black men are getting, because I'm pretty sure that you say that, you know, there aren't many good black men like you, Mr. Pope. Okay, if he's such a good black man and there's so many good women out there, then why is he getting old, eggless church bitches? Why is he with you? Why is he with a multiple divorced church bitch? If there's so many good women out there.
And it's taking care of me. Thank you, Carrie Anthony Pope. But I said, this is the reality for a lot of other women. This is the reality for a lot of Latin women, a lot of white women. This is what it feels like to not have the financial burdens of a household on you. Right now, I'm at my best.
Holy crap.
I don't wake up straight.
Black women are at their best when they're at their worst. You're not at your best. You're at your best at 24. You're at your fucking worst now. You're at your worst now. What are you talking about? And the thing is that black women see her situation and they want their situation. They want her situation. So when they say there's not enough men like her husband, she's right. But it's not that these guys don't exist. There are not enough men like her husband that will take that shitty deal. She is a shitty deal. Coming to me with multiple divorces and shit from guys who got more from you for less is an awful deal. And then they got to put up with your wigs and shit. Listen, let's start with the fact that your pussy's dry. Let's just begin with that. Your pussy's dry. You randomly piss yourself and you randomly piss him. On him. You don't like sex anymore. And your ovaries looks like the day after Easter. You don't have any eggs, or excuse me, you don't have any hair. When you take your makeup off, you look like the plate that is underneath a cake after kids have rummaged through the cake. Your hair looks like a pile of white telephone cords in a drawer. That is the reality of the person that's fucking you right now. But he's not actually fucking you right now because your sex drive has diminished. You're at your absolute worst. And you're getting the most from it. Which is what's every black woman's plan, but it doesn't work that way for every black woman. In fact, it works that way for very few. which is why they're complaining to you, because you got the thing that they spent their life hoping for, and they're never going to get. And now they're counting the number of men that have their passport. And make no mistake, at her age, passport bros is a severe problem. I'm going to repeat this. At her age, passport bros are severe problems. There is nothing stopping a man who spent, his 20s and 30s in the military and now is about to ship off. Now he's retired. He got this check. He got a house on the Montgomery GI Bill. And now they're like, the men my age, they're zooming to Thailand. So yes, it's a real thing. It's not a real thing when, or it's not as real of a thing for the women who are 20 and their boyfriends are 20 and he's in a university here, or here in the States, or, he has a job that binds him to the States like I do. It's not a problem then. But at once men start hitting retirement age, then they're going to say, you could deal with this or you could deal with that. You could deal with this or you could deal with that. You could deal with this or you could deal with that. You could deal with this. You see where I'm going with this? All it costs is a stove. This man is paying 95% of your bills. If you're going to pay 95% of your bills, make them smaller bills for more attractive women. So yes, all of the smart 95% bill paying ninjas who are retired are going to do it elsewhere because they're not freaking idiots. Your complaint is that there are not enough black men idiots out there.
Rest. I'm able to lean into my feminine. I am cooking and healthy and watch it,
You are not healthy, bitch. You are not healthy. I just seen you slurp a big gulp. I don't think people understand how nasty the stuff that they consume is. Like that they casually consume. For somebody within the same hour of slurping a big gulp say, do y'all know when the last time I had a big gulp was? Jesus, I literally don't remember. Not to say that I don't occasionally have a cheat day with some junk food. Hell, when I'm on vacation, I'll have a cheat week. But it's not, trust me, it's not something I'll commonly do. Y'all don't hear me on these streams, and y'all hear me eat on the stream. I'll tell you, like just last stream, I say I gotta go to banana. Y'all don't hear me say I gotta go get like a gallon of soda or some crap like that.
Monitoring the things in the family, helping to take care of Carrie with his health and his food, and I'm ease and flow, and things are just so amazing. And I began to think, and my therapist said to me, she says, Rebecca, you are experiencing something that very few Black women will ever experience. You are experiencing what very few Black women will ever experience. This is from a therapist. My therapist is in her 50s. She's been a therapist for over 30 years. She is so experienced, so wisdom, knowledge, woman of God. She's amazing. And if you reverse engineer what she's saying, ladies.
want y'all to, I didn't hear like the last 45 seconds because I had to go somewhere. Because I want y'all to listen to this. I want y'all to listen to this. Y'all hear that? Y'all want to know what that is? That's a Granny Smith apple. That's a Granny Smith apple that I'm eating right now while this bitch is slurping Slurpees. Talking about how healthy she is. I didn't go to the store in the last 45 seconds. I stay stocked up on fruit and vegetables and lean meats. And an ounce of corn syrup in my fucking kitchen. Why this old bra talking about she eating healthy? Y'all want to hear it again? Because it's good. Y'all hear that? And I didn't get it from 7-Eleven. I got it from the farmer's market this weekend. Hey, bigger than regular apples, and it's good. It's green. All right, let's continue.
She's saying to you what I'm saying. If you are a Black woman and you want to be married and you want to lean into your feminine and you want to be more provided for, not to say you don't work. You guys know how hard I work. My money is now going into investments. My money is able to go into savings. We're able to do so much more with my money if Carrie's paid 95% of the bills. It's a partnership. But if you are a Black woman right now, you watch this video on YouTube and you decide that I really do want to be married, Rebecca. One, this is what I said the other night in class. Please pray and open your heart to ask God to help you go beyond dating Black men. You have to open up your options.
What you're really praying for is that white men accept you. That's what you're really praying for. To love and be loved is one of the biggest blessings in the whole wide world. And ladies, listen, you can say, Rebecca, I want a Black man. I want a Black man. I don't want to date other. No, what they want is they want to be able to leverage Black men. Listen, this is how it works. Getting white men to want them. By the way, that's the only reason why they're doing this. They're painting this narrative as good women in bad situations. Let me tell you something. Man, if you want a good woman in a bad situation, go overseas. You'll find a good woman with no stove in the house. I shit you not. There are 9+ with no seat on the toilet. And I'm not talking about the ones I've been with. I'm talking about like their neighbors and stuff. You want to find a good woman in a bad situation, go there. And I'm talking to you white dudes. I'm not talking to the brothers, even though the brothers can too. I'm talking to these white dudes. If you're looking for like a damsel in distress, go to Africa. If you want to hear some sad story so you can be the white knight, go to Africa. Fuck it. Go to Asia, even though you already are. You don't have to sit around, listen about these first world bitches complain about how 1.8% of their men are locked up. What they want to do is they want white men to want them. And that's so they can leverage white men against black men. That's what they want. They want to be able to tell black men, like, oh, if you don't do exactly as I demand, if you don't give me 95%, I'm going to go to a white man. They want to be able to definitively say that, and they wanted to be able to definitively say that for decades now. White men just not going for it in mass enough in order for them to use that leverage. Say I applied for a job at Google. Now, I want the job at Google, but I want to get a better salary. So then I go to Facebook, or excuse me, Meta, and I get a job offer from Meta. So just so I can go back to Google and say, well, you know, I mean, if you don't give me a good deal, I'll just go to Meta. That's leverage. That's how leverage works. Now, the problem with bras like this is they don't qualify for Google or Meta. They don't qualify to hold the sign that points to the Apple Store. You know those sign pointers? Shout out to the sign pointers.
Rebecca, I want a black man. That's fine. I'm married to a black man. I am not denying you a black man. I'm not. But I'm simply saying is that if you've been barking up that tree and that's not flowing for you, and you don't have a ring on your finger, and you're dating and the options you're getting are not marriage material, I'm saying that it is better for you to be loved by a good man rather than just a black man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying it is not meant for you as a woman to keep navigating life by yourself, paying all the bills by yourself, the pressure of independent single women. I just had lunch with my new friend, Iyabo, Dr. Iyabo. And she said, black men are black men. She's from Africa. And she said she's married to a white man now. And she said, it ain't no different with the African men. It's still the BS. We have a cultural issue, guys. Cultural issue.
Yes. We have a culture full of fat, obnoxious bitches. You see, I'm still eating apples, so I'm a mistake. But I got it as a demonstration. But once you bite into an apple, you got to eat it, or else it'll turn brown on the inside. So that's what I'm doing. Sorry about that. We have a culture. See, when they try to eliminate disqualified black men, and then they say stuff like, you know, oh, they're in prison, and they try to skew the stats to make it seem like it's more than it is, when it's really like 1.8%, according to Google. Y'all are 80% fat. That's it. That's all. No matter how much y'all can say, even if, you know, ABC News was doing the stats right, and 54%, you know, because of incarceration or because of education, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, y'all are 80% fucking fat. You're 80% fat. You're 80% fat. You're 80% fat. Hold on. You're 80% fat. You're 1.8% incarcerated. You're 80% fat. 10% of you didn't graduate high school. You're 80% fat. 50% of you are shorter than 5'10". You're 80% fat. Some of y'all don't have big dicks. You're 80% fat. There's nothing worse. There's no stat you can ever throw at a black man to negate the fact that you're 80% fat. Nothing. Hit the like button, people.
And if you want to be married, let me stay on point. If you want to be married, I am giving you my best advice.
Let me tell you something. Somebody said 60% obese, shake my head. Listen, I don't count the obese. If you're fat, you're fat. It's not like there's magnitudes of fat. What, you think a bitch gonna seduce me like that? Well, I'm fat, but I'm not obese. You're fat. Like the 20% that's fat and not obese? We're only 54% obese. You're 80% fat.
That the love of a good man doesn't matter if he's green, purple, yellow. It doesn't matter if he is daggone fuchsia. I would rather you as a woman know what it is to be loved and cared and provided for than to stay out here navigating life all by yourself. All by yourself, waiting for a black man when they are few and far between. Those of you who are good men, black men, we love you and appreciate you. I'm not putting down the...
Shut the fuck up. If you loved and appreciated your husband, you wouldn't wait so long to fucking marry him. You Boyce Watkins that nigga. You had marriages before him, meaning that he was your plan C at least. Like, okay, if things don't work out with this husband, then I'll go to plan B. And if things don't work out with that husband, then I'll marry the nigga I'm married to now. And have him pay 95%. Have him pay more than anybody else. That's not love, and that's damn sure not respect. If you love and respect good black men, why'd you give your best years to bad ones? And black women collectively love good black men. Why in the fuck are they so fat? You see, most of the people listening to me right now, I'm talking about the black people. Parents didn't love you. It's not that they don't think that they love you or they hated you. It's just that if you have a definition of love, and that is a willingness to sacrifice something of yourself for them, then black women rarely fall into that condition. When you love someone, you want them to have the best. That's why your husband pays 95% of the bills, because he loves you and he wants you to have the best. But do you want him to have the best? Do you want him to have the best? Is this your fucking best? You look like a barbershop quartet member from the 1920s in blackface or brownface. Is this the best you can offer a man? You ain't offering him shit. You're offering him postmenopausal dried up pussy. You don't love him. When you love someone, you want that person to have the best. Black women do not love black men, or else they will be working to offer their past, present, or I shouldn't say past, but their present and future mates their best. And they never, ever, 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 ever do. You're 80% fucking fat. If that's your best, then fuck that.
Black Men Aunt Weezy 86. I'm simply speaking about real life and real statistics, real numbers. There's not enough black men. You want to know why black women are the least married demographic?
Because you're 80% fat?
Because there's not enough marriage material black men.
I define marriage material black women as not fat, meaning that there are not enough marriage material black women out there. I'm going to repeat that. I define marriage material women as not fat. So only 20% of you meet the first criteria. The second criteria, and I'm not going to, be ridiculous and say you're a virgin. Not fat, fertile, and real hair. What percentage of black women are marriageable by that definition? Because y'all have 3 criteria: that he's free, that he has a high school diploma, and that he's employed, right? Which is most black men. Even by the skewed stats that the news media showed, 54% meet that qualification. What percent of black women meet the qualification not being fat ass bitches? Exactly. Let's continue.
If you are a woman, and black women are some of the most high achieving demographics of women on people on earth.
Fact
black
check.
Women are pursuing
Fact check.
next level.
Black women are the most high achieving. Notice how when Trump got rid of the DEI, because DEI is really just putting your finger on the scale for black women. When he got rid of DEI, it was like 104,000 of them lost their job. Come on now. That's not high achievement. But let's just see. Average income of a black American woman. Okay, so black American women earn $879. I think this is a month, or maybe that's a week. Let's see the median. Oh, weekly, yeah. Weekly income is $879, which is 79% of what white women earn and 83% of what men earn, according to the Bureau of Labor. So, what exactly are you achieving? What exactly are you achieving? I'm trying to. Okay, let me just type in the word Asian. So I think that they are actually the highest achieving women, at least. Okay, the median household income for Asian American woman is $105,600. Why in the hell do you champion fucking fourth place when it's only 4 groups of people running? There's a gold medal, there's a silver medal, there's a bronze medal, and then there's whatever the fuck you got. But they still like to champion themselves. I mean, it's the same playbook. Up talk black men or black women, down talk black men. It's the same playbook. Y'all the brokest bitches in the first world. Still talking up about yourselves. No, Keisha is not the most high achieving. Let's see. The vague, only 24% have degrees, slightly higher than Latinas. Yeah, because Latinas are smart enough to be housewives. 19% of black men, 18% of, what's that? What's H men? What's HM? Around 12%. Asian women in the mid 60 percentile and Asian men upper 50 percentile. Yeah. No, it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. Oh, Hispanic man. Got you.
Education. Every black woman I know is got multiple degrees, graduate degrees.
And you're still broke. And you're still broke. And ever notice how they and she always say stuff like, I know or I've seen? That's a precursor to giving out false and bad statistics. Just like earlier, she was like, when I was in the gym, I seen 1/3 of black men gay. Everything I've seen. All the women I know. Like, really? How much do they make? Do they make more than Asian women? Now I think about it, literally 100% of Asian women that I know are educated. And it's not because of, it's because that's going to be my perspective. Because I work with them. Plain and simple. Or I met them in college. So, yeah.
Constantly pursuing goals, education, income, taking courses, trying to improve themselves.
Well, they're failing at that. And let's not forget that you're 80% fat. They're trying to improve themselves while you slurp a big gulp. You old nasty bitch. You know she has a girdle on. Oh, yeah. Right now, she is wearing a girdle. Y'all think I don't know a girdle bitch when I see one?
And at the end of the day, where are black men at? Where are they doing the work to make themselves marriage material?
Well, we make more money than you, and we have less debt than you, which is why we wasn't begging Biden to forgive our shit. In fact, one could argue in the gym where you seen all those black men. Where were the black women while you were in the gym? They were in Kentucky Fried Chicken. Or they were in Kentucky Frying Chicken. They were in Popeyes. And they were getting extra biscuits at Church's Chicken. While the black men were in the gym. They were out wig shopping. They were out getting pregnant. That's where they were. They were out Spirit Airlines arguing with another black bitch. Okay. I'm going to talk about this DEI thing for a second. DEI, there's levels of minorities. And your level is not just determined by the number of boxes you check, but how much the people in your checked box complains. Meaning that if you check the rainbow box, so let's just say one person checks a rainbow box, right? And another person checks a black box. That rainbow box may exceed the black box because rainbows complain more about injustice. So the company is going to try to tip the scale in their favor. The woman box ranks higher because even though they're not technically a minority, because it's more of them, but they do the most bitching because they're bitches. So, which means that even though both a straight black man and a straight white woman should be equal in the DEI scale, because women are seen as the greater minority because they complain more than straight men, they're given higher precedence. In fact, straight black men get the lowest next to straight white men because we don't complain about it. And black women do the most bitching, especially if they're fat, than any other advocacy group. So it makes the most sense that they would be the prime beneficiaries of the entire DEI thing. And now that it's over, they're the biggest victims of its absence.
Because now the stakes are even higher. As Black women have come into understanding of healing and emotional intelligence, now we don't only want a marriage material Black man, you want an emotionally intelligent Black man. Somebody who's doing their...
Emotional intelligence is something idiots made up to describe themselves as intelligent. I have a high emotional IQ. That's something that people with low IQs say.
work too, spiritually, emotionally. Where they at? When I say that Black men are in crisis, I'm not exaggerating. Ladies, our Black men need therapy. They need...
Black men are in crisis, and Black women are in a health crisis. Black men are in the crisis of dealing with women who are in a health crisis.
Deep healing work. They need generational healing work. C-Sal says women are waiting until they're too old. Coco Blade says that part. We're preparing for men who aren't prepared themselves. And then
somebody nailed it on the head. Black women are waiting till they're too damn old. Y'all trying to sell milk, gallons of milk with like 1 day before expiration date. And then y'all raise the price every day that it gets closer to the expiration date. And then you double it once it passes the expiration date because you're stupid like that.
Then by the time you have a man on a higher socioeconomic level, we're wondering, why do they marry other women? Because those are the women they're around on that level.
God, these broads are stupid. The thought never occurred to you to marry older? So let's just say 35, right? And you're sitting around at 20 saying, black men don't become financially eligible until around 35. So what do? Go out and fuck 20-year-olds and wait until you're 35 and then wonder and then try to get the 35-year-old men to go with you at that point. You're stupid. You're dumb as fuck. While other groups of women marry older. Don't believe me? Let's see. Let's see how old is Ivanka Trump. Let's see. How old is Ivanka Trump? She's 43 years old. She's 43 years old. She is 30, what is that? 36 years younger than her husband. You want to know what she didn't do because she's not a fucking moron? She didn't wait till she was 43 and then try to find another 43-year-old man with money. That's something that morons do. I mean, but we could continue. We can continue. Let's see. Who's attractive and married? Let's see. White woman. Attractive, married, white woman. I'll just type it in. Attractive, married, white women. All right. Let's see. Nobody's name came up, so I'm just going to see what image comes up, and we'll go from there. Okay, let me type in famous. Famous. Attractive and married white woman. Here we go. Here we go. Ryan Reynolds. Oh, actually, here's one better. Carlton Banks. Let's take a look at his white wife, shall we? We shall. Let's see if they give her age versus his age. All right, let's do this. Let's see. Age. Okay, she's 44 and he's 53. He's 9 years older than her, which means that when he was Carlton Banks, she was in the 4th grade saying, I'm going to marry him one day. And she did. Let's see how long they were married. October 2012. Okay. So this white woman who's 43 years old now, and she married her husband 13 years ago. We're going to do the math and say that she married a 39-year-old man when she was 30 years old. Meaning that when she was in her 20s, she says, I'm not going to screw around because I'm not a black woman, What I am going to do is I'm actually going to marry the guy who black women literally called corny. And he's nearly 10 years older than me. That's what I'm going to do. It's part of not being an idiot. And they've been married for 13 years, 3 kids, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And what have you done? You waited till your pussy ran out of juice. It's all walled down and stalled out. It's just like an engine with no fucking motor oil in it. And say, you know something? I want to settle down now. Now you see why they're actually winning? That has nothing to do with the black men. Y'all had what? Not 39 years, but y'all had damn near 22 adult years before he married this chick to get at Carlton Banks, but you didn't because you're stupid. How many years did y'all have to get at Michael B. Jordan? But you didn't because you're stupid.
And then those women are the women who are used to being provided for and protected by their fathers, and women are sitting here stuck because we're frustrated and hurt, and we've been walked over and taken advantage of and hurt and broken, and we're having to do all the work to heal that, but then you're frustrated and overwhelmed.
Notice how she was talking about how much black men need therapy, and now she's talking about, we're doing the work to heal ourselves. So you admit that you're fucked up. And all of this, talking about black men and, they this. No, you admit that you're fucked up. You admit that you're broken, and the only people you're getting to try to heal you is other broken bitches. Keep it a buck. All right, I'm trying to find her age. And of course she's hiding that. Like everybody else's age just popped up immediately. Like when I type in the women who married at a reasonable age, their age just popped up immediately. Hers is more elusive. Let's see. Let's see if Wiki has it. Verifying you are a human. Okay. Now I got to deal with the CAPTCHA. Verification successful. I'm glad you realize I'm human. Okay, so she's 51. She was born May. She just turned 51. She was born May 6, 1974. Actually, she's 52, I believe. No, 51. Yeah. So she's 51 years old. She's been married for 8 years, meaning that she got married around 43. Like I say, no fucking eggs. Pussy all walled down and stalled out. Carlton Banks' wife nabbed him up at 30, or really 29, because she married him at 30. They're just smarter than you. And instead of teaching the next generation to be smarter, you want to blame the men. Shout out to Sweet Melody Media.
Raising kids by your black man that's not there for you, that you tried to make a life with. Single mothers, we know it's an epidemic. Single mothers don't make themselves single all by themselves. Black men are not in the home raising their kids. Are there some of you? Yes.
Listen, says, wow, she's a lot older than I thought. I was thinking she's your age. Understand this. Even if she was my age, she'd still be old as fuck. Even if she was born the exact same minute as me, she would still be older than me. You want to know why? Because I still got a hard dick and sperm in it. Do she got wet pussy and eggs? Because I got hard dick and sperm. That means she's older. That's the fuck that means. You see, it's like dog years. A dog may be 7 and a human may be 48 years old. But that dog is really 49 years old. That dog is older than that human. And her pussy is older than my dick. A lot older. My dick is far from running out of sperm and it's far from being soft. And even if it was soft, I just tape some popsicle sticks on it and go at it. Okay, let's talk about this. I'm glad you brought this up. Let me get out of here, and I'm gonna go to the very thing that you sent me on Instagram. I'm gonna go to the very thing because this is the illusions. This is the illusions that they try to that they try to sell me. Hold on. So a couple of weeks ago, full disclosure, Melody Media sent me this Instagram post of the black chick from Boy Meets World and how she just had her first baby. But I'm gonna share that with y'all, and then I'm gonna give my 2 cents in it. And by the way, she can get it, and so can Cherry from Punky Brewster. Cherry from Punky Brewster can still get it. Both of whom are older than me. All right, so let's see. But yeah, I would KY lube they shit up and go at it. All right, let me here we go. Sweet Melody Media. You be sending me a lot of nasty shit. I'm not talking about the nasty shit that I and every other dude in the chat room wants you to send. I'm talking about like a bunch of 600-pound bitches and stuff like that. All right, here we go. Congrats. Former Boy Meets World star Trina McGee reveals she's expecting a child at 54. Now, I'm actually going to Google it and see if that child actually came to life. But here's what they don't tell you when they be having these, old babies. Here's what they don't tell you. It's not their egg. Shh. Quiet. It's a secret. The truth of the matter is, most of the time, it's not their egg. I know a woman who was pregnant in her 50s. I'm like, oh, okay, I know she's not married or have a boyfriend, so she must have donated some sperm. That's fine, But then that baby came out, and that baby looked nothing like her. I mean, nothing. Imagine if Grace Jones had a baby that looked just like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. You'll be like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck is that? So not only are they getting sperm donated, they're getting an egg donated. And then they put it in a cooter and they stir it up. And then 9 months later, the baby come out and the baby has 0 DNA from the mama. That is what they don't tell you. That is what these Halle Berrys don't tell you. That is what these Kenya Moores don't tell you. that is the best kept secret. Like you see the baby bump and all that good stuff. I mean, because they are actually pregnant, but it's pregnant with somebody else's DNA. They find two people that have never fucked each other and never met each other, but now they have a baby out there with their DNA. A man from Kentucky and a woman from Cali mix the baby together in a woman's pussy from New York. That is modern times. Hold on. Trina McGee kids. All right. Okay, so they did live. Good for her. Hold on, let's see. In fact, we're going to talk about that with Cherry from Punky Brewster. But yeah, a lot of these fucking, miracle babies, a lot of these miracle babies aren't what they seem, Melody, just saying. And it's good that some of them can have kids into their 40s, but some of them lose fertility in their 20s. Like, why are they playing Frankenstein with their pussy? Good question. It says, how come the young ones aren't giving birth and the old ones are? Because the young ones are still weighing their options. It's called overplaying your hand. Say a guy shoots his shot at you. I'm sure they do. Hell, some of them probably inboxing you right now because I mentioned your name. But say a guy shoots his shot at you. And then say, y'all exchange numbers and y'all play a game of who's going to call first. And then out of nowhere, fucking 20 years later, you decide to call. That's black women. They play the waiting game too long. Too long. And then they try to sell to you, I don't have any kids. It's like, well, you're 53. I mean, it's not, that's a virtue like at 25. That's not a virtue at 53. I mean, people because if you had kids, they'd be grown by now. So it really wouldn't impede anything. So yeah, that's what it is. Anyway, let's go back to Rebecca Lynn Pope and see what she has to say.
And we applaud you. But the statistics say in overwhelming numbers that black fathers are the number one fathers that are absent. So guess what, black women? You fall into this can't win. You got to be mom, dad, provider, protector. You got to do it all yourself. Well, what energy does that put you in? Masculine. Then you're exhausted. Now you're frustrated.
Don't give a shit. Don't give a shit. Don't give a shit. Listen, you're not going to get sympathy penis. Those days are gone. That's gone with DEI and welfare in Section 8. That is gone. The day of y'all getting free shit, including my dick, because of a sad story, is gone. And you want to know why it's gone? Well, here's one of the main reasons why it should, and this should be like the death nail in the coffin. There's more attractive women in shittier circumstances than you. I'm going to repeat that. There are more attractive women in shittier circumstances than you. For example, when y'all sing the blues, y'all blues sound something like this. Dun 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 dun. I got myself pregnant. Dun 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 dun. At 15 years old. Dun 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 dun. My baby daddy left me. Dun 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 dun. Straight out in the cold. Dun 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 dun. I signed up for welfare. Dun 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 dun. And got Section 8. Dun 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 dun. I'm a DI hire. Dun 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 dun. And now life is great. I'm living off other people for my mistakes. That's what y'all life sound like. Worst case scenario. Y'all life sound like City High. What would you do if your son was at home crying all alone on the bedroom floor because he's hungry? And the only way to feed him is to sleep with a man for a little bit of money. That's what y'all life sound like. That is the worst fucking case scenario of what y'all life sound like. You want to know what their life sound like? Do you want to know what their life sound like? And when I say their, I'm talking about women who are not in the first world. For those of you men who have hero complexes, it sounds exactly the same, but no Section 8. Okay? No stove. No shower head, no toilet seat. Some of them, no running water. And they try to sell box and then realize that the men that they are trying to sell box to earns $7 a day. That is their life story. So if you want to be a hero to that woman, okay? Be her hero. Because I can guarantee you, she is not going to treat you like Clark Kent. She will treat you like Superman. She is not going to look at you and say, you are a broke-ass nigga because you make $800 a week. She is going to say that you make 3 million pesos a week. And you have a stove. So years ago, right, before I was doing YouTube, I was in an undisclosed part of Latin America. And me and my friends, we had some girls over. And they cooked us breakfast. And this one chick, who is a 8.5 to 9 plus, was about to take the coffee pot, the whole coffee pot, and put it in the microwave. And my friend, who, was seeing the girl at the time, had to stop her because coffee pots have like have a metal thing on. At least this one did. It had a metal thing on it. And besides, the handle is plastic. And you're just not supposed to put it in the microwave. But she didn't know that because she ain't got no damn microwave. So if you want to save a woman from a dire situation, don't let it be an old church bitch. Let it be someone younger, hotter, sexier, childless, who will actually appreciate the stuff that you do, who never touched a microwave before. Hit the like button.
Then they want to say you're angry. Vicious cycle. Listen, what I'm saying is if you are a Black single woman and you want to be married, I'm tired of seeing you struggle. I'm tired of seeing you hitting your head against the wall. Nothing wrong with giving a good Black.
If you knew how to hit your head against the balls, you wouldn't be in this fucking situation. If you knew how to hit your head against some balls when you were young, you wouldn't be in this damn situation. Think I feel sorry for you? Fuck you. There are nations out there that lost their USAID. And they need you men to go give them some good old USAID dick. So fuck what she's talking about.
Man a chance. But it's time that we see more Black women married. I've said it 100 times. I said it inside class. If I was to ever do another matchmaking business, I would do a matchmaking business for non-Black men who want to marry Black women.
They don't need a class for that. They don't need a class for that. This whole myth that there's a bunch of white men looking to take a class on how to marry a Black woman is foolishness. They're not hard to date, and they're damn sure not hard to marry. It's the fact that they don't want them. And the ones that do are already with them. It's not hard.
Millions of other men who love Black women, who will marry Black women and treat you like a queen. It's time for you to change.
All right, let's just see about these millions. Let's just see this. All right. Most desired race of women in America. Definition: most desired contest dating preference is complex, can be interpreted in different ways. Research, blah, 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 blah. Heterosexual man's preference studies on dating apps has indicated that heterosexual men across different racial groups tend to express a preference for Asian women. Oh, okay, but I'm pretty sure they're in second place. Let's see. With some data suggesting they receive the highest rate of interest and responses. You're telling me the slimmest, the slimmest and highest earning women and reputedly submissive women have the most men interested? Okay. Let's see. Let's see who's the second. Let's see. What's second most desired race of women in America? Okay, let's see. Second. All right, let's see. Because I know Black women got to be second place. They got to be second place. Let's see. Heterosexual men for Asian women, potentially followed by white women. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, third place isn't bad. All right. There's a medal for that. Let's see. I mean, there's only 3 races, but let's just see if they count Hispanic as a race, and hopefully they beat them. All right, let's see. Third most desired race of women. Let's see. Hispanic Latino women. So I'm sorry. So they did classify Hispanic Latina as most desired. Okay, so So that's okay, because there's still millions of other men that want you. And all that has to happen is that, white, Asian, and Latino women don't want them. So yeah, once you find a guy from another race that white, Asian, and Latino women don't want, then hey, he's perfect for you. So yeah, you're highly sought after. You're a highly sought after commodity. All right, let's continue.
Your type. Your type needs to be. Your type needs to be. Your type needs to be whoever is going to love me, provide and protect me, so I can lean into my feminine. Aunt Weezy 86, do you think men of other races fetishize? I can't ever say that word. Fetishize us. Listen.
Okay.
Just like anybody else. There's going to be people who want things for the wrong reason, just like there's black men who just want to screw you. They don't want to marry you, but they'll screw you.
What does that say about you?
It is time for you to grow up. It's time for you to open up. Take the limits off. I want to see black women married to black men, white men, Asian men, Latin men, European men. I don't care. I want to see black women thrive.
I want to see them married too. But before that, I want to see them slim with real hair and no fucking attitude. Notice how she didn't say any of that. She didn't say any of that. Like, yeah, I want to see black women slim, no attitude, and real hair, and marrying young, and starting families early. She didn't say any of that. I just want to see them married. I want them to stay exactly as they are. And find somebody to like that shit. Okay. We got a white man here. Had enough of the black shit. I'm a white man, fuck you. Okay, understand this. You haven't had enough of the black shit because you're not black. Okay? We're like Bane. We're like that scene on Batman where Bane said, you just inherited the dark. We lived, I lived in it. We lived in it. However many dates or whatever you had from a black woman does not compare from the bullshit black men had to deal with these bitches. Understand that. It doesn't compare by a long dick. Not at all. We was raised in it. In this type of foolishness and fuckery. From birth. We sucked it out of the titty. Now, I'm not saying you didn't have your fair share of bad experiences, but it pales in comparison. It pales in comparison. I'll tell you that much.
Thriving in a family unit, sharing roles and responsibilities so that black women can thrive. That's what I want to see. I want more black women living a softer life. If it is not 100% soft, fine, but softer, easier, less stress, less responsibility, partnerships where you have a life partner who is doing life with you. So you are not all by yourself. I've been a single mother. I know what it is to raise sons on my own.
Holy shit. This man married a single mother with no fucking eggs. This is what they want for all of you.
Thank God my sons have turned out well. But ladies, listen, this is not easy.
And that's what these bitches do. They give birth and pray. They give when he and what's his name? What's the white dude name? I forget. I'm not gonna scroll up. There's a white dude here, like, I've been there or I understand that. You don't understand. Imagine being her son. And the only thing that keeps you going is prayer. There's no private school. There's nobody cutting up your carrots and take you to soccer practice or no shit. No, it's just fucking prayer. It's just fucking prayer. And every now and again, she lets you keep the change when she sends you to the liquor store to get some cigarettes. That is your fucking life.
It is not easy. You deserve love. Black women have more pressure on them than any.
You don't deserve shit but what you work for. And you haven't worked for that. But let's just say by some divine purpose, hardship means that you deserve love. Then that would mean that every woman who is not born in the first world deserves love more than you. And that's why Passport Bros exists.
Other race of women. Black women are expected to be it all and be the salvation and savior of Black men. Because by the time you get one, you got to go through so much to get him to a point of being healed and healthy too. Not just yourself. Because Black men are hurt.
Okay, you just admitted that you're not healed and healthy. I don't want to heal your unhealthy ass. I don't. The juice isn't worth the squeeze, and at your age, there's no fucking juice. Thank you, but fuck you very much. Fuck are you talking about? You know something? I get what you're talking about, but why are you talking about it here? This song's not about you. I understand you have a set of problems. And that problem is they vilify successful people. I get that. We live in a culture. White problems. It's a subject for another channel.
Hurting so badly, but we can't heal them. I can't heal Carrie. Carrie had to get his own therapist and work on himself.
If he had a decent therapist, that therapist would have told him to stay away from your ass.
Hello. Hello.
I was supportive in his healing, encouraging in his healing, but Rebecca couldn't heal him. I couldn't fix it. He had to work on himself. The stereotype of the strong Black woman is old. It's overplayed and it's old. It's time for us to soften up. It's time for us to have a soft landing. It's time for us to have a soft place to land. It's time for us to be able to rest in our ease and flow, to be provided for and protected. It's time for us to be valued for who we are, not what we bring to the table.
That's what value is. You ignorant twat. This thinking that you should get stuff just because of who you are, not what you do, I don't know where it comes from, but it's an enormous sense of entitlement. It's a spectacular sense of entitlement. I'm going to walk into a company and say, you should value me for who I am, not the labor I can bring to your company or the value I can bring to your company or what I bring to your company's table. Oh, y'all know what I'm going to do? Just to show everybody how stupid this bitch is? I'm going to become a DoorDash or Uber Eats driver, right? And then when somebody orders food, I'm going to eat it. And then I'm going to walk to the door and say, where's my tip? And they'll say, where's my food? I'm going to say, you should value me for being me, not for what I bring to your table. And see what the fuck happens. That's how the world see ignorant broads like this. Now, speaking of ignorance, there's somebody here that's race baiting for whatever strange reason or want ethnic attention. Ignore such foolishness because it's really the same mentality that goes on here. I should get stuff. I should be valued because I'm a black woman. And then in the chat room, we have someone on the stuff that, I should be valued because I'm a white man. And I'm going to attempt to say borderline triggering stuff to get attention so I can be valued as such. Ignore such foolishness. It's the same stupidity. Ignore it.
But just who we are, like every other woman. What do we bring to the table as women?
Other women bring shit. Other women bring shit. In fact, the order of desirability is the same as the order of amount of shit that they bring. Jesus.
Love, comfort, joy, partnership, peace.
Okay, first of all, that's the same shit that he brings to you. Listen at her list.
Who we are. Who we are. Not what we bring to the table, but just who we are, like every other woman. What do we bring to the table as women? Love, comfort, joy, partnership.
Love, comfort, joy, partnership. That's what the men is bringing you, so it's an even exchange. Except for the fact that you want him to pay 95% of the shit. Except for that, it's an even exchange. He's bringing you love, joy, companionship, comfort. So what the fuck?
Peace, compassion, understanding, nurturing.
Bitch, you ain't never brought a man peace in your whole fucking life. You have never brought a man peace in your whole fucking life.
That's the feminine energy. That's why God created woman.
You just said circumstances made you masculine. So if feminine was the energy, you have the least of it. So when asked what you bring to the table, your response should be the least feminine energy.
That's who we are. Intelligence. Mina says, I never hear other races asking what their women bring to the table. You're not going to hear it.
Because they don't have to. They see what their women bring to the table. Because they're not jackasses. Like, if somebody would bring something to my table, I'm not going to say, what do you bring to the table? The only time I will ask a person, what do they bring to the table, is when I have an empty fucking table and somebody asking for shit. If you have like a barbecue or a potluck, and then, you look around and you see everything people brought, the only person that's going to be asked, what do you bring to the table, is a person who is trying to eat other people's food and they didn't bring shit.
Because a man knows why he wants a woman. He wants her for all the stuff I just named: sex, food, love, comfort.
So men want fucking 50, what is it? How old was she? 51-year-old women for sex?
For nurturing, being a best friend, to be the mother of your children. Hello? It's not that complicated. Why have men for thousands of years wanted a woman before current times? Right? It's not complicated, guys. Ladies, I know this is going to ruffle feathers. I don't care. I didn't make it for Black men. I didn't make this message for anybody else. I made this message for Black women. Black women who want to be married, want to build a family unit. Black women who do not want to do life by themselves and are tired of not being in partnership with someone to help take care of them. That's who I've made this video for. It's for you. For you to talk to God, pray, and open yourself up to true love and a type of love that will love and protect you. Because that's what you deserve. All right? I love you guys. Blessings in abundance.
Once again, the whole philosophy that Black women innately deserve shit. I'm not saying that you don't deserve stuff as a woman. I'm saying that each and every single ethnic group of women deserve more than you. All right, let's take a look at some of the comments here. If this reaches just one woman who decides to pray up on her options for love and ends up married, I've done my job. Okay. Thank you for this video. Thanks for this video. I've been single/divorced for years now, of course. Maybe you shouldn't have gotten divorced. I'm definitely open to marrying a non-Black man. You was open to marrying one before you married whoever you did. It's not a matter of you being open. I've been wanting marriage and said another prayer while watching. Advice taken. Okay. What has that gotten you? It's arrogant to think God is focused on you individually and he would give you advantage over others. I mean, there's people with cancer out there and he's going to be like, oh, fuck them. This person needs some dick. Yep. I was one of those black men. Only here I am at 53, educated, successful, and single. I bet you opening my heart, and I will be married to headed to marriage in a year. It's been a year, and no, you're not. You're a fucking simp. Is it what it is? So you've been an adult 53 fucking years. Or excuse me. You're 53 years old, which means that you've been an adult, let's see, 2, 5, 10, 20, 30, 35 years. You've been an adult 35 years. And you think something in this video is going to help you? Why don't you take her advice? Why don't you consider other groups? Just saying. Because statistically, it's more likely to help you than it is them. Oh, here's somebody with some sense. And he has the most thumbs up so far. Do you no longer believe that black women have an unrealistic expectation is a key reason that they are struggling to be selected by men, as you stated years ago? Ooh. I don't do this often, but I don't do this often in the comments. Now, look at what's going on here. She went through her thing and liked everyone, right? Liked by rebeccalynnpope. Liked by rebeccalynnpope. Liked by rebeccalynnpope. Liked by liked. Not liked. Not liked. Let's see. Let's read the ones that she put a not like on. Queen Rebecca, thank you. When you open up matching men who seek marriage to good black women, I'm interested. He's spiritual, smart, great conversationalist, mature, emotionally available, to build friendship, easy on the eyes, has started his healing work and open to find favor from the Lord for loving, providing, and protecting his this black queen. I'm a great catch, so he won't be disappointed. I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's a man or a woman that wrote that. I thought that it was a man saying, like, I'm single and I fit your qualification. Where's my bitches? But it says he won't be disappointed. So I don't know. She's not talking to you at all, brother. Yeah, exactly. All right. Let's see. So she didn't like that one, probably because she didn't make sense of it. Thank you for this. I've been going back and forth with the whole idea, and now I know what to do. Why are they pretending like they just discovered non-black men? I'm all in, Rebecca. Thank you. You've confirmed my desire and how I started to change less than 2 years ago. Okay. I receive and approve this message. Many thanks to you and all you do. God bless. Okay. Listen to your husband. Okay. I want to see the ones that she didn't like. You're telling the truth. You said healed, broken man. They're falling through the cracks. I open my heart to a real man for me. Why don't you open your gym membership and open your fucking mouth to a real man? Anyway, all right. I'm reading this. It doesn't seem like there's much here. Oh, wait a minute. Somebody said something that people are responding to. The whole world, right? She's probably has a new course to pedal. Oh, shit. So they're responding to dude. They're responding to dude that didn't get the like. Let me see. Oh, wait. So somebody said, oh, she probably deleted it, but somebody said something against it. And oh, here it is. Talk to black men in your family. Okay. Okay. No, my friend. It's a course in a new book. Okay. No, she doesn't, hyena. I'm trying to figure out like what's going on here. Let's see. They need to stay invisible, dude. Those mixed kids will come regardless. Black men keep creating them no matter what they do. Okay, everybody's responding to Kareem. What did Kareem? Oh, I see. All right. So there's a degree of mixing we can endure as people. It will happen mainly from the men. True. Most of the men that I know have procreated out. It's always, remember what I said, when they're looking to make up a statistic, it's always they put the words "I know." Oh shit! Shay Sade is live. All right, so I'm gonna head over there. All right. Anyway, there's enough of this anyway because it's about to be 3 hours in. All right. Anyway, like to thank Cash App Super Chats. Let me stop this. Like to thank the Cash Apps and Super Chats, managers and moderators, those who are listening silently, and those participating in the chat. Make sure you hit that like button on your way out. And this is GameChanger 00100. Game over. Peace.